it's Jack with the Teenage Techie, and you're watching my full review of the Galaxy Nexus, the latest Android sensation to hit the nation. The Galaxy Nexus has plenty of high-end internals to keep up with the iPhone 4S, some of which includes a 1.2 GHz dual-core OMAP 4460 processor, 1 GB of RAM, a 5-megapixel camera that shoots 1080p video, and a 4.65-inch Super AMOLED HD screen with a 720p resolution. The phone comes in two main iterations, a CDMA and LTE version on Verizon, and a pin-to-band GSM and HSPA Plus version that will work almost anywhere else in the world, even on T-Mobile and AT&T. I did my testing on a GSM version, so there will be some differences, such as battery life and data speeds. There are also some physical differences between the two versions. The Verizon phone is a tad thicker to accommodate for the LTE radio, and has a bigger battery, 1850 mAh as opposed to 1750 mAh. The Verizon version also has 32 GB of internal memory, whereas the GSM version has 16. Going back to the screen, it is probably the only screen that is serious competition to the clarity of the Retina display found on the iPhone 4 and 4S. The blacks were almost indistinguishable from the bezel of the device, colors were vibrant, and text was extremely crisp, even to the point that you could read text from the desktop version of the New York Times site fully zoomed out. The bigger story of this device, however, is the software, Android 4.0, codenamed Ice Cream Sandwich, which is the very latest version of Android. There is pretty much nothing in the system that hasn't been touched upon or redesigned, and this release definitely puts the user experience closer to the cleanliness of iOS, a lot more so than Gingerbread, the previous version of Android for phones. Ice Cream Sandwich has brought many improvements over from Honeycomb, the tablet version of Android, but has also cut back on the Tron-like feel of the OS, making it feel more welcoming and not so much cold and machine-like. Even the lock screen has been redesigned. You can now go straight to the camera like in iOS. There's also a new way to secure your phone, Face Unlock. The Nexus will unlock when it sees your face. I don't think it is the most secure way to lock your phone, as it has been fooled with pictures of the user, but it's a good way to ensure a stranger can't find your phone on a bus or something and use it. The notification bar has also been redesigned, and you can now swipe away individual notifications instead of clearing away all notifications. Instead of placing a passive of touch buttons below the screen, like pretty much every Android phone ever made, Google has opted to place 3 buttons on screen: Back, Home, and Multitasking. The Back and Home buttons do just what their names imply, and pressing the Multitasking button will bring up a list of recent applications, complete with thumbnails of what the app last looked like before you closed it. You can swipe away apps that you don't want, just like notifications. To help make Ice Cream Sandwich nicer, Google has put nice animations all over the system. A good example of this is the cool sliding animation in the app drawer as you move from page to page. Widgets are revamped in Android. They are now scrollable, swipeable, and resizable. They also have a new location, the app drawer. The settings menu has also been revamped. Google has pulled more settings out front and organized them better, so you don't have to dig around sub-menus to find the right settings. One of the niftiest features in the settings, however, is the ability to see how much data your phone has used. You can set warnings and hard data caps, as well as limit background data on an app-by-app basis. The keyboard in Ice Cream Sandwich has been massively improved. Text prediction is improved, as well as text selection, and Android underlines misspelled words in red, much like a computer. Voice dictation is also improved. Android types what it hears in near real time, and you can pause to think about what you're going to say and it won't stop listening. All of the core Google apps have also been redesigned, and, like the overall OS, they bring many of the improvements made in Honeycomb back to the phone, as well as some new ones. Gmail is much more productive than previous versions. You can swipe sideways through messages, and there is an action bar at the bottom of the screen, which changes depending on what you're looking at in Gmail. Basically, the biggest new feature in the Calendar app is pinching to zoom in on a block of schedule, besides the app looking better. The web browser is so much better than any Android browser I've ever used, and it is really a competitor to iOS's Safari, both in terms of speed and aesthetics. Zooming, scrolling, and rendering were impeccable, and I generally looked forward to browsing on it. The tabs menu has also been improved. There are thumbnails instead of a text list like in Gingerbread, and you can swipe away tabs to close them, just like notification and multitasking apps. The dialer is cleaner and much more aesthetically pleasing with its blue color scheme. It was a pleasure calling people. Okay, it's not something many people appreciate or care about, but I like it. The camera, unfortunately, does not live up to Google's hype. Sure, it takes pictures really fast, but sometimes pictures come out blurred because of it. The sensor isn't even close to the sensor you'll find in the iPhone 4S or the Galaxy S2, but if you're coming from a 1 to 2 year old phone, it's probably at least as good as the one you have now. The camera software, on the other hand, is truly great. There are all sorts of new features, such as touch to focus, editing, panorama mode, and time lapses. Sharing photos has also been made easier. I really hope some of the mediocrity of photo quality can be fixed by software optimizations, but only time can tell. Wrapping things up, the Galaxy Nexus is definitely the best Android phone ever made to date, and it could be possibly the greatest smartphone ever if iPhones aren't your thing or taking great pictures with your phone doesn't matter to you. If you're in a position to buy it, I suggest you do it now.